Two of the most common questions I receive are how do I make more money, and two, why isn't your RuneScape username Protoxx? And to explain that second question, I figured a video would be appropriate so that a large majority of you watching my content consistently know the story behind it. So whenever you're ready, grab your cup of tea, sit back, relax, and enjoy. My original RuneScape username that I used to log in had nothing to do with my channel's name, as back when I started playing RuneScape, I didn't make YouTube videos. Upon coming back to the game after an extended break, I decided to change my RuneScape username to Futima, simply because I'd been using that name for years in RTS games like Empire Earth and Age of Mythology. Somewhere around 2012, I was playing a first-person shooter game called Big Gun, and I saw other players with cool-sounding usernames like Anthrax, so I figured, hey, I need myself one of those cool usernames. It took me a little bit of thinking, and after a while I went for Protoxx with double X for dramatic effect. While I'm not entirely sure, I believe that name was influenced by another video game I was playing at the time called Hawk, simply because I don't know, X's sounded cool in the name, and no, I'm not Elon Musk. Despite rocking the Protoxx username in some video games, it would take me surprisingly long to actually change my channel name to Protoxx as well. I changed it from something incredibly lame to Protoxx Gaming somewhere in 2014. Later, which is only 2 or 3 years ago, I ended up removing the gaming part from the channel's visual username, as to make it shorter and more appealing to the eye. The days of having your channel niche or topic in the username are long gone, at least that's what I thought back then and still believe in the current day. In 2019, my channel was well on its way and growing fast in both average views per video and subscribers. According to my analytic history, I was nearing the 25,000 subscriber mark at the time, at which point I figured I should probably change my username to Protoxx, as it was the name most people would call me and recognize me for anyway. Sure, the Futima username had some nostalgic value due to me having used it for nearly a decade at that point, but it was really time for a change. Unfortunately, it seemed that the username had already been taken by someone, but that person holding the username had not logged in for multiple years and was likely not even a member, as I was unable to find their stats on the high score. I'm not sure how long this takes exactly, but after a certain point of inactivity, accounts are removed from the high scores, but the username is kept. Well, unless Jagex does another one of those username releases like they did back in 2017. Uncertain of why someone would claim that username only to leave the account inactive until further use caused me to message the mods in the content creator Discord to request that username, to which the mods replied that they wouldn't be able to facilitate that request because the player could come back to play the game. Well, they weren't wrong. A year after I pinged the mods about that message, the username was actively being used to lure unsuspecting viewers of my content for their gear and runes at the Abyss with the classic "Hey, can I buy your world?" lure. Multiple viewers of mine noticed this player running around and sent me screenshots of said player, including a screenshot of him attempting to perform the lure. Following this, I decided to make a video straight away in addition to pinging the mods in the Discord yet again, requesting that they do something about this because this person was using my brand username for malicious intent, which is something I did not like at all. Thankfully, Jagex did do something about it and they banned the Protoxx with double X username, but they didn't ban the player despite that player obviously breaking the rules. But hey, I was still pretty happy. The most obvious and convincing version of my username was banned, never to be used for malicious intent again. Now, the reason I don't believe the player was banned was because of the wording of the mods. I mean, they didn't specifically say he was banned, they just said the username was banned, so I don't know exactly, but it definitely seemed like it because only a few days later, someone with a similarly leveled account using an admittedly more obviously fake username was doing the exact same thing to my viewers. And before you say it, yes, I know these scams can be quite obvious to people that know about them, but there's always going to be a sucker out there that doesn't know as much about the game that gets lured. Even this year, in 2023, lures and scams are happening around RuneScape. People will continue to make mistakes or be too confident in anti-luring someone, and therefore people will always get scammed. Very recently even, there was a play on Fresh Start World scamming players by making them believe he was me by using a very similar username, therefore seeming more legitimate because players are more likely to trust someone with a following, which you shouldn't by the way, even if they are real. Anyways, he was just taking money from people and logging out, which was just very sad to hear from others. And it's something I care about because it directly affects how some of those people perceive me, as they suddenly think I'm scamming them, which I'm obviously not. So it's damaging to my reputation, if you will. Now, you're not going to believe this, but after a long conversation, I tried to convince this guy into changing his name, which led us to talk on Discord, and because of the length, I'll spare you the conversation, but this guy ended up asking me for help after getting banned for real-world trading by Jagex, telling me some sob story about how he was trading between his own accounts and was totally innocent. And then he proceeded to send me this screenshot in which he had multiple gold selling sites bookmarked. Yes, I'm the one blurring his name here just in case. But come on, man, how stupid do you think I am? What's even more insane is that only a few weeks after this conversation, he changed his Discord name to MMO Sales and was literally advertising a gold selling site. What a strange twist of events. I'm going a little bit off topic here, so it's time to wrap it up. So yeah, that's why I'm still called Futima in game and will likely remain to be called Futima for a very long time until Jagex does some kind of name release, which they probably won't, let's be honest. They don't want to give creators name privilege, as others that had their name sniped by name snipers would also want to get the same treatment, which I understand, don't get me wrong, but something in me still really wants to get that username. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.